It's pretty obvious you clicked this video because you saw the title and was like, I'm about to tell this black person that he's wrong because I don't like him. Now, I I've been I wanted to bite my tongue about how I feel about right wingers for a long time because I don't want to use hate. I probably have used hate, but I never wanted to use hate because I don't want to actually hate anyone. But I can easily say with my heart of hearts that I 100% hate Republicans. I hate the right wing. I hate if you call yourself conservative or whatever. If you are a right winger, I hate you. I hate you. And the reason why is because I need for y'all to understand something real quick. I'm Southern. All right? Like, one thing that Republicans love to do is say, well, that's the liberals. That's the Democrats who's actually doing all this stuff. I'm Southern. I am from the South. I have lived mostly in the South. And it's so, I've somehow meant, like, every poor part of every state is basically equivalent to the South. But nobody ever pays attention to that because they're just saying, oh, well, like, I lived in California, but I lived near, like, a military base where it's, like, majority Republican for some weird reason. Respect the troops until they actually need something. And I don't like these people. Wherever I lived in Florida for a short time. Same thing there. Even worse. I'm currently in Texas. It's just as bad over here. I can easily say that as long as I've been, like, from place to place, I've encountered more Republicans and right-wingers and conservatives than I ever have Democrats and liberals and anything else. I'm starting to think that liberals and Democrats and left and the left wing in general just doesn't exist, and it's something that, like, the right wing has orchestrated to basically give themselves a one-up if they ever just happen to be as terrible as they wanted to be. So Republicans can always say, well, of course we want you to work until your arms fall off so we can give all your money to billionaires, but at least we ain't no Democrats. And other people be like, you know what, you got a point. You know what I mean? Because you always find yourself asking, well, how is the Democrats worse than the Republicans? And Republicans will say, they're just worse. Much, much worse. In the time that I have been like looking into and paying attention to politics, Democrats are at the worst incompetent, but they will lose. They lose, they fail, they're capable of actually, they're flawed individuals that are actually capable of losing. Republicans seem to just not lose. To put this in perspective, every single time the Electoral College has gotten involved in voting, in the voting process for the President of the United States, a Republican has won. Every single time. Every single time. So they don't lose. They don't lose. The people literally say, we don't want this guy, and all of a sudden the Electoral College comes in like, well, I mean, what if we did it anyway? So it's like the Republicans are like this disgusting superpower that people are like, that people treat like, that the Republicans treat like the underdog. They always say, well, we're under attack, we're being victimized, something bad is always happening to us. It's like, no, people just don't like you because you're impossible to get rid of. The right wing in general is impossible to get rid of. Bro, there's right wingers everywhere. Because, like, okay, artwork is specifically, and I hate to say this like this, but artwork is specifically like I want to say leftist. It's like every piece of artwork has a message that you're supposed to understand if you just think a little bit deeper. If you're smarter, you might get it. And I don't mean smarter as in like, the square root of the hypotenuse. No, I mean as in if you're smarter as in if you can sort of understand what the artist is trying to say, or if you just listen to what the artist is actually saying, then you'll be able to understand the message. Everything has a message, and a lot of times the message is usually something like being a white supremacist is bad, helping out people is good, love, peace, and happiness are the ways of a better future. And you will have right wingers who will pay attention to artists work like this and go, well, actually, what if white supremacy wasn't so bad? And that's the part that I really want to talk about. The big reason why I hate being a right winger, the whole concept of being right wing, is because it comes from It comes from lies. It comes from just cruel sociopathic lies. Okay, because nobody likes pedophilia. Nobody likes pedophilia. Nobody. If you are a parent, you hate it even more. There's nobody who's just going to outwardly admit that they like pedophilia. And Republicans know this. So what Republicans do is they say, hey, you don't like pedophiles? And you say, sure, of course I don't like pedophiles. And they'll say, good. Now join our cause because we also don't like pedophiles. Right? It's a cool thing to do. It's like, hey, we both have a universal dislike for something. Now, and this is what they do. Once you join their group, automatically they're saying, well, these people are the pedophiles. And it's like, it's marginalized groups. You see what I'm saying? So they're like, well, we need to, in order for us to get rid of pedophilia, we need to get rid of people in these marginalized groups. And they do that with everything. They, like, basically the difference between a right-winger and literally everything else is bigotry. And bigotry is white supremacy. So the literal difference between a right-wing person and everybody else is white supremacy. Because we all can agree that there are corrupt billionaires that are, like, in charge of everything that is ruining Americans' life. But right-wingers will tell you it's not the billionaires, it's the poor people. Like, we all can agree that corruption is bad, but it's like, no, well, the poor people are much worse than the rich people are. Why would you say that? It's like, well, right wingers, like, we can all agree that pedophilia is bad, but the right wingers will tell you that the gay people are the pedophiles, and they just need to get wiped off America. You see what I'm saying? It's the same concept, but one is just chock full of bigotry and hatred and just like, it's like we all can agree that, you know, jobs can be a little bit intense on the workers sometimes. So there needs to be a change for the better. But right-wingers will agree with this and then say, yeah, but we need to also find a way to make sure that the billionaires that are in charge continue to stay in charge. You see what I'm saying? In the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, when big businesses was taking their businesses to other countries and leaving people here to rot because they couldn't work, there's people out there that saw that as a good business move, while they were also suffering. Those people are now right-wingers today. Imagine seeing 2 world wars happening and imagine seeing bigotry and white supremacy get challenged on a global scale, and going from America, the hardcore, yeah, that's right, we win wars, we're badass, we're tough, and imagine seeing white supremacy get challenged by America and then becoming a white supremacist afterwards. At this point right now, being a Republican and being a right-winger is easily the most anti-American thing on the planet, because America is about diversity. It's about diversity. It's about a collection of multiple cultures in one place, doing whatever it is they need to do to survive, and not just survive, but to thrive in prosperity and happiness. And right-wingers and Republicans are seeing all that and saying, yeah, we don't want that. We want the white guys to be in charge of everything. And it's like, you guys are already in charge of everything, and everything sucks. Well, everything does suck, but it'll suck even worse if you guys were in charge. How is that possible when you don't even... It's never even happened before. You guys have had all this power for this long and things are still terrible. Well, things aren't really that terrible. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The minimum wage in America is $7.25. The minimum wage on a national scale. To put this in perspective, the lowest a person can get paid in this country is $7. And the reason why most jobs don't do this is because they know that people cannot survive off of that, because rent is about $1,200 in some places, and that's the cheapest. You guys have been in charge for the longest time, and this is what we have to live with. And you're saying, well, we need to be in charge much more. Why? So you can continue to say you can't do anything after another mass shooting? And that's another thing. Why are these people so useless? They want 99% of the power. They want complete and total power. They want complete and total power. But every single time something goes wrong, the first thing that they do with their complete and total power that they have is say, well, it's all the Democrats' fault. To which I say, what Democrats? I'm confused now. What Democrats are doing these, how Democrats, these spineless, pathetic, weak losers who don't even like guns and want everybody to be gay and all this other stuff, how are they all these things, but every single time something goes wrong, is always, those Democrats is just way too powerful for us to do anything about. And there's people out there who follow these people. There's people out there who follow Republicans' agendas so hard that they actually believe this crap. They're willing to believe in the phrase "working vacation" when Trump went to Mar-a-Lago for 80% of his presidency. Working vacation, 2 words that just don't make sense together, but to these guys it's like, yep, we totally get it. You got to take into consideration exactly what this translates to, man. This is what I'm saying. It's all about white supremacy with these people. And it just makes me so mad because now we have just recently seen yet another racially motivated killing, yet another one in Florida earlier this week. And now you got people trying to say, well, we can't do anything about guns and we can't do anything about racism. So here's some money to handle the situation and shut up about it forever. Bro, if you're gonna, if I was running for president, the first thing that I would say, if I was running for president, me specifically, which I can't do because I don't have enough money because you need money to run for president. You need a whole bunch of money to run for president. That's the saddest thing. It's like, technically, in a perfect America, everybody can run for president. But because you don't have enough money to secure your campaign or whatever, now it's like, yeah. But if I was running for president, if I had enough money to run for president, I would specifically say, I will do everything in my power to challenge white supremacy. My presidency will be about a war on white supremacy. And you'll have, because it's like, who's going to defend it? Why would you defend white supremacy? Well, it's creativity, it's freedom of speech. No, it's not. It's hate speech, and it's hate speech, and it's violent. It's literally it's domestic terrorism, and quite possibly one of the most powerful forms of domestic terrorism in the country. Why would you want to continue to have this, knowing how dangerous it is? It's like white supremacists also support Nazis. As an American, you should be against that, and you're not. Technically speaking, challenging white supremacy, challenging racism, challenging white supremacy, specifically challenging white supremacy. Because all bigotry is white supremacy. Challenging white supremacy is the most American thing that you can do. It's the most political thing that you can do. You can't be a white supremacist and then call yourself a patriot afterwards, because you're not. And that's what Republicans fight for. That's what Republicans and the right wing and the conservatives and whatever the hell else these idiots want to call themselves, that's what they are at the very core of everything that they do. All they are is just maskless Klan members just trying to bring America back to the 1840s. They're not going to be happy until everybody's locked up in prison. And what better way to make it is to lock people up in prison than to make being homeless illegal? And what better way to drive up housing prices so that only rich people have homes, so poor people can get just shipped off to the streets, shipped off to prisons, so you can go back to slavery days. It's all just one big game to these people. I don't like them, and I know for a fact that that's what these people have. That's all these people want. They are willing to burn the country to the ground just so they can feel comfortable saying the N-word again. And I just really hope that next year, I hope that in 2024, people catch on to what is going on and then just wipe it out. Donald Trump is currently Donald Trump is he might go to prison. We don't know. But the fact of the matter is that at this point right now, we're seeing white supremacy fight hard as hell to keep its seat because they know that people are challenging it. People are fighting against it. And all I'm saying is, bro, please keep fighting. If not for me, if not for anybody else, just keep fighting, because that thing that happened in Florida, that mass shooting that happened in Florida, in a perfectly Republican America, ran by Republicans, that could continue to be the norm, because Republicans are going to look at that shooting and say, well, we can't stop it. We can't do anything about it.